Hello everyone, this is Bic Benedict. Before I introduce this chapter, I just wanted to point out that I have all three of my weapons up to the max level, which is level 3. And how did I do that? I just went to Kaleidos Challenge number 2 and went around and battled the enemies until I had everything maxed out. It's not too hard, and the mastery skill that you have to actually use and have every one of the skills involved is the Blood Whip. You don't have to use all the other ones for the Void Sword or the Chaos Claws, but you have to get a lot of them implemented and practice using them. But not only is it good to strengthen your weapons, but to, like I mentioned in the previous video, learn the moves so that you're comfortable with them. Like the quote-unquote million stabs move that I'm using is square, hold, and then 4 squares after that. It's an awesome move, but it leaves you vulnerable though, so you've got to watch out for that. So this is, we're playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 on Prince of Darkness difficulty. And this is a long chapter, it's called the Antidote. What you're doing here is you're using a Chaos Bomb to blow up the door, and then tossing 2 void projections. And I have the hints on, just in case you were wondering. It's a little annoying, but sometimes it expedites things and makes me not have to waste time and make needless edits down the line. But if you throw a void projection at the water pipe, then it will freeze and extinguish those flames for you. What else? Yeah, so I'm pretty low on money, but I don't have many moves left to actually buy, so I'm okay in that department. Out here is a cutscene which I edited out. Now we have these mutant citizens here to deal with, and I'm really of two minds here whether the weapons themselves actually get strengthened or if it's purely for trophies, because you do get 4 trophies. One for each of the weapons, and then another one for the inventory of having all those. But as you can see, I mean, this combat system, it's got a lot of flair and flamboyance, and it can obstruct your vision with the effects of the weapons splashing all over the place. It's got even his slide, which is the slide he does is actually reminiscent. It's not the same move, but it's similar to the shoulder rush that you did in the previous game, but here it doesn't cost you any magic to use. So that is one issue, using the magic attacks. But even the Blood Whip, see, I'm not even using the Void Sword or the Chaos Claws. Every one of the weapons has a lot of these visual effects that can get in the way of your vision and ruin parries, things like that, and get yourself off the rhythm of the combat. So another thing I haven't touched on is getting to your feet quickly. It's called I had the name on the tip of my tongue. It's called I think it's called the Fast Recover. You simply press X when you're on your back. He'll flip up. And have I discussed the focus meter too much? I don't think so. It's called the focus bar. It's in the bottom middle of the screen, and you accumulate focus by continually hitting enemies, or I think I have discussed this, or getting a parry, and that will light up almost all of the focus meter, and then it's just up to you to get a few more hits. Getting hit loses your focus instantly. I mean, it'll just stop. Your focus will end because your concentration will end. Getting hit, that's one thing, and then the other thing is not hitting enemies within a certain amount of time, which is very small. It's a small amount of time in which you have to hit another enemy to keep up that focus meter. So You'll notice also that I smash everything that I see. I'm sorry if that's annoying, but it's an instrumental part of the game to smash things. I mean, I would play this game if I were only just smashing shit up. It's just that fun for me. But obviously it would take a little bit more than just smashing stuff, but I just love these breakable objects because you get really valuable relics, and you get experience points. Now when you jump down here, you're going to have one guy rooting through the garbage can, this piece of shit over here, so just toss a dagger at him if you want to aggro him. There is the site of a memorial, which I already got previously. It looks like he's wielding a sledgehammer. That move right there is called I think it's called the whirlwind. What it is the L2 hold, the L2 plus square hold, and then the analog stick after you've charged up. And just activating the Void Sword and or the Chaos Claw, I guess I should say, the claws or the sword, just activating them, one or the other, it doesn't waste magic until you actually hit enemies. You could actually hit breakable objects and it won't drain, but once you start hitting the enemies, that's when it drains. Unless what you're looking at is topped off magic, meaning that you've already filled the bar up once, and then the game is allowing you to have what I called in my Lords of Shadow 1 guide, a topped off reservoir. Like when you're filling the coolant in your car, you're topping it off a little bit just to have a little extra down the line in case it burns up or drips out or something like that. But I even hit the fire extinguishers, or the fire, whatever they are. You're going to come over here though and aggro these guys. They're going to jump out. I think they're going to jump out of the windows. There they come. And I'm using the Stolas' clock to slow these guys down and to give myself additional experience points. I decided not to throw so many of these in battle, but I don't have many anyway, so it's not an issue. Yeah, see how drastically it slows them down when you hit them? They don't slow down unless you hit them, and it really wouldn't be fun to watch as a guide, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so there's some more breakable objects over here. You're just going to have to accept the fact that I have to smash everything that I see, because it's a compulsion, first of all. Well, maybe not first and secondly, but second of all, it's a great tool to get what I mentioned, all those relics. So if you throw a dagger up there, it's going to have the electricity stop over here, so that's how to do this. You can't jump up the pipe without extinguishing that energy, or the electricity, excuse me. And make sure you hit all the trash bags too, because there's experience points hiding in trash bags, just as there are said points hiding everywhere else, in the fire hydrants and in the crates. And our next objective is to go to a small little insane asylum that's been evacuated, as has most of the city, because there's a plague. Now that's pretty annoying when it says there's a new experience point available to use. Now this over here, this type of stuff is all loading. Whenever you have to open one door to have the door behind you seal, it's just pure hiding of loading times. I honestly don't know why these games have to load so much with an install. You know, I've already gone over that, but yeah, that's how long it takes. And there's even longer sections where you're sitting in front of a door for 20 seconds. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. There is a pain box in one of these prison cells over here. I guess they're not prison cells, but these little wards for the mentally ill over here. And the way you get it is, I think it's backtracking with the rat, but I don't quite remember how I did it before, but it's not too hard if you just apply some ingenuity and look around. But this part really stumped me when I was playing this for the first time. Like I was gonna go crazy over here because I could not figure out. You know, the waypoint's pointing like right there, but that could be on a different level. Even though it's pointing, you know, in one way, it could be from a different level. Now, you might also notice that, or when you're playing, you'll if you want to use the dragon to instantly kill a lot of enemies, or if you're on a boss, damage him or her. If you're trying to activate it and if it doesn't work, it's because you don't have all 4 of the pieces accumulated to use it. It's just how the crystal worked in the previous game. And when I say previous game, yeah, see this, I didn't know where that was. Those bats blended right into the environment, but I was too ignorant of this game to know that I should have been listening in addition to looking. Because if I had been listening, I would have heard those bats and I could have pinpointed the sound. But when I say previous game, I don't mean Mirror of Fate, because even though that was literally like the previous game, I'm talking about Lords of Shadow 1. So when you drop down in here, you're going to have these guys stalking this area here. The morgue, I guess it would be. So restore your appearance and then take care of these guys. And there's also going to be a mechanism which has your magic for you. I kind of like the new mechanisms look. It's got more of a mechanical kind of look you'd see in like a science fiction movie. But I have no problems with this game. Aside, I mean, like visually and thematically, you know, having him in a city, I really have no problem with that. I don't mind it. Because when I play a game, I just want to have fun. That's the bottom line. And if I consider that I'm having fun, then I also believe that, yeah, there's the dragon, I was just pointing that out. If I'm having fun playing the game, then I can conceive that, you know, it would be conceivable to me that people would enjoy watching the guide. That's pretty much where I'm at. Okay, so equip your Chaos Claws over here, because we're going to have one of the demons down here who has a shield. So you're going to have to take that off him. These guys love to teleport via the blood pools that they travel within. And the enemies really don't pacify off screen too much. I mean, they do a little bit, but they can still, I mean, they'll still charge at you. And it has a little bit to do with having the camera on them, definitely. I mean, that's how most of these games work. And over here, I inadvertently used one of my Tears of the Saint. And whenever I do that, I get really pissed off because, see, I'm going to use one over here because it's just pointless not to when I have one on the map. See, it topped my health off a little bit, but it's going down. And then here, I waste it. It'll go from 4 to 3. And there's no reason for me to have used it. But I thought I was using the projectile, and I thought I was aiming. And I didn't realize I had the Tears of the Saints selected. There should be some... the game does have a way of forcing you to hold down on it so that you don't waste it. But I think if you're at full health, it should not let you use another one. I mean, why? Nobody would do that logically. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, not even for topped off health. It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, flip the switch over here to restore the power once you did the other transaction, and then you're going to have a checkpoint over here. So if you die, you'll be thrown back to this venue. And over to the right, there is a memorial, but I can't get it because I don't have the double jump. I don't know why I can't just fucking have the double jump from the beginning. But here are some more smashable objects. We've got a gurney and a mattress and what have you. And I'll be smashing fewer things once I get all my items purchased. But if I don't have my relics maxed out, then you can bet I'll be smashing stuff. Because they're called breakable objects for a reason. But anyway, this spawn right here occurs right here. And we've got one guy with a shield. Looks like maybe two guys. How many guys with shields? These guys are fast and they've got range. So, in addition to them teleporting, see how they weren't pacified off screen, and I had to adjust my gameplay to turn around and face these guys. But very, very quickly, these guys can sneak up behind you via their teleportation move. And I missed that parry right there. And in a minute over here, I remember this because I just did this. You'll see me get the parry, but not follow it up with any counter attack because you're vulnerable after the parry. I mean, you're not safe. See, right over here it happens. The guy hit me, and I believe I parry his attack, and then you'll see me move away. It might have already happened. I apologize for that. It might have happened. But just remember, just because you get a parry, it doesn't give you any kind of vulnerability. Okay, so a bunch of stuff to smash down here now. There's 100 experience points. And the way you're supposed to go is, I think it's on this floor that we're supposed to go. Or maybe up top. Let me see where. There will be an edit because I lost my way over here. And whenever I lose my way, not only do I get irritated, but I have to edit my video because there's nothing I hate more than watching somebody's video quote-unquote guide when they're just walking, when they're running around and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That is really bad. And even worse is people that leave in their deaths. Like, how fucking stupid are you? Like, to leave in a death, that's okay if you're trying to show something or explain, like, an injustice in a game or something like that. But who the fuck leaves in deaths? And the answer is a lot of people do. And most of these people that leave in deaths are the people that don't even do any commentary over their videos. And if you don't want to put commentary in your videos, don't. But at least edit your deaths out. Because it's a big waste of time. I'm watching because there was one point, like I mentioned before, where I was trying to figure out where the hell to go. And I was watching somebody play, and he was almost at the point where I was, and then he up and died, and then he restarted from a checkpoint, and then I had to fast forward the video, and it's just a big waste of time. They're time wasters, these people. And the ironic thing is, they're time wasters, but they're trying to get their shit put on YouTube as quickly as they can because they just think that they're going to get 1 million views or something. Not 1 million, but a lot of views. And the additional irony is they do get the views, but their videos are absolutely shitty. Now, when I say absolutely shitty, I mean it might be in HD, but if you're leaving deaths in there, you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you're calling it a guide. It's not a guide. Okay, so when you kill all but one of the enemies, we're going to have the mechs come in, and they're pretty tough, but I like fighting them. And they might seem out of place in a game like this, but they were in Ninja Gaiden, so I thought, if they're in that game, it's fine by me, because that game is really great. Now, the mechs up here are going to be ambushing you right away on this rooftop. You don't have to use the Chaos Claws to take these guys down, although you might notice that your attacks bounce right off of them, but if you do a somersault over them, and it really isn't necessary to do the somersault, but it's actually a lot better, hitting them from behind where they have less armor will take care of them. And then once you loosen them up a little bit, then you can hit them with normal attacks that won't bounce off of them. However, if you do see that shield above them, just be prepared to either bust out the Chaos Claws or jump behind them. Now, what was I going to say? You see the ground stomp that they do, that's an area of effect attack that spreads out from the middle and then enlarges, causing you to jump. That's a move that a lot of enemies do in this game and in Lords of Shadow. Now, about the guns that these enemies have, the machine guns, that was a badass move right there. I was glad that was a nice finishing move. But the most dangerous enemy to me are the mutant citizens with the shotgun. Those guys take a lot of health off you. The assault rifles that the mechs have, it's more of chip damage that you can block, but it still eats away at you very slowly. Now we're going to be coming up on a sacrificial pile over here, and I wanted to let you know that you can manipulate these. The checkpoint is right here. You'll probably see a little loading / checkpoint icon. Well, it's not here, but it does exist. It exists like right in this area. So if you offer your blood for this sacrifice, what are these called? Let me see. Statues. Pile of sacrifice. If you don't like what you get here, just keep restarting, because you can. If you keep restarting, there is a chance that you'll get whatever you want. So if you don't want the dodo eggs and you want the Seal of Astors, or if you want the Ensnared Demons, just keep restarting. It might take you a while. Sometimes you might get like 3 dodo eggs in a row, but what I'm looking forward to is completing this game and then having the dodo eggs find the seekers for me, because I don't want to look around like an idiot and not know where things are if I walk right by them, you know. And I also don't want to have my phone like on my lap trying to figure it out with a video, a video guide for all the items. I just like the dodo, and you can switch. What happens is you'll cast the dodo out, and then you'll notice you see the yellow triangular icon in the map. That's the waypoint. It'll be a green one, or excuse me, it'll be an orange one. I can't get my colors right today. It'll be an orange icon, but if you don't want the yellow and the orange on, those 2 arrows, you can just separate them and get the orange waypoint on there solely, so that it doesn't bother you too much. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. We have some mechs down here, and as usual, I am hitting the gates and the poles and the smashable objects, because they're much more important than the enemies themselves. And that was a little bit of dry sarcasm for you, but anyway, on the title card for this part, if you press start, it says the Antidote still, and then the next chapter is the chapter, or I guess it would be called the mission. It's called Next Stop Castlevania. Now, this is where we started. This was the beginning of the game, but the next chapter will be that really action-packed train section, which I thought was pretty cool. Really, really fun and exhilarating. It has everything, really. It has a little bit of stealth, combat, jumping around, nice platforming, scaling from one side of the train to the next. Yeah, but definitely manipulate those piles of sacrifice to get what you want. I mean, you will get everything you need when you find them all. But if there's something you want in particular, then if you want something quicker than something else, then definitely manipulate it. You can also manipulate the breakable objects really bad. I mean, you could go to a different section of the game after breaking some, come back, and all the smashable objects will be there. Down here, you're going to be assaulted by one of these guys again, the mechs, the pair of mechs. So I'm not using my Chaos Claws, because not really anyway. but I'm just trying to example how to kill them, because it's highly possible that the person watching this could come down here without any magic. And second of all, what I try to do is I think to myself, what if I didn't have any magic down here? And also, what if I didn't have any means to put magic into my inventory via the Ensnare Demons, the relic? Would it be like a broken section? So I always try to test the game to see if it is. But it already had quality testers and testers to make sure the game wasn't broken, but those quality testers sure didn't get the lock-on right. I don't think this game was rushed out. People think this game was rushed out, but it was in development. Oh, I don't know how long, but the original came out in October 5th, 2010, and the reason I know the exact date is it's because it's my brother's birthday, and he recommended that game to me. And I watched the half-an-hour trailer for that game, and I was just amazed. And I was thinking to myself, like, this looks like a wonderful reimagining of Castlevania. And at that time, I had never even played God of War. So I was coming into that game and not really knowing, how this game was influenced by that game. And other people who are ignorant would just say, "Oh, they just copied it. You just copied God of War. It's just a God of War clone." That's really oversimplifying it. You'll notice a cut fade here because I went around and broke the stuff. But we're almost done with this section, and there's a really annoying part over here where you're doing scaling and jumping and avoiding electrical sparks. Is this where it is? It's coming up. So I think where that loading a moment ago was, that icon that came up, I think that's where officially Next Stop Castlevania starts. But where I'm going to start my next video will be right on the top of this area where we're going to start by the train. That's where I'm going to put it. And I'm trying to be as by the book as I can with all the chapters and the titles. And referencing the boss names by the bestiary, you notice that on the first Acolyte we fought, I didn't call her the Acolyte, although I probably could have. Obviously I fucking could have, but the reason I didn't want to do that was because you have access to the full bestiary, so why not just call her what she really is? I can't remember what she's called. Her name is like Elisa or Raskova. I don't know what it is, but that will cost me some views, and because they're not going to search for that Russian name. They'll search for First Acolyte Battle. But I put the terms First Acolyte Battle in the tags where they're supposed to go. And I never keyword spam in the tags like for the other difficulties, like even with Ninja Gaiden 2 in the tags, I never put mentor mode because that's not fair. That's manipulating the system. And I'm not a goody two shoes, but I respect honest results and people trying to find what they're actually trying to find. If they want a mentor guide, they probably don't want a Master Ninja guide, so I never keyword spam. It's down and dirty. But anyway, I'll see you in the next chapter.